All right, let's get right into it. You know, when you watch a chess match, you see the pieces moving, right? The knights, the rooks, but there's this whole other battle going on. A silent, invisible war happening inside the players' minds. That's what we're digging into today. The hidden psychological warfare that really defines elite chess.
And really, who better to set the stage than Garry Kasparov himself? He flat out called the game mental torture. I mean, that one phrase tells you pretty much everything. At the very top, chess isn't just a game of smart moves. It's a brutal, psychological fight for survival. Because in elite chess, being a tactical genius just gets you in the door. It gets you a seat at the table. But it's your mind, your psyche, that actually wins you the match. The real battle isn't on the board. It's fought on that 64-square battlefield inside your head.
So what are we really talking about when we say psychological warfare in chess? Well, we're talking about all the deliberate, calculated moves that happen away from the board. This could be anything from a comment you make before a game, to messing with the thermostat, or as we're about to see, complaining about the cameras. The whole point is to crack your opponent's focus.
And this is the absolute core of it. When the pressure is just immense, the player who can keep their head, who can think clearly and stay composed, that's the one who's going to grab the advantage. At this level, mental toughness isn't just a nice-to-have, it is a fundamental weapon.
And there is no better, no more famous case study for this than the legendary 1972 showdown in Iceland. We're talking about Bobby Fischer versus Boris Spassky. This was so much more than a chess match. It was basically a Cold War drama that put psychological warfare on the world stage for everyone to see.
Just look at how this played out. Fischer starts with this shocking blunder in Game 1. Then, for Game 2, he just refuses to play. He forfeits because of TV cameras, and suddenly he's down 0-2. To the outside world, it looked like a complete and utter meltdown. But then, he comes back with a vengeance, totally rattling Spassky and just dominating the rest of the match. It was chaos, but it was chaos by design.
And here's the kicker. This wasn't just some emotional outburst. It was a confirmed strategy. Fischer's own team later admitted that the entire plan was to wreck Spassky's mental state, whatever it took. They created this atmosphere of pure uncertainty and tension, an environment where Fischer's powerful, chaotic personality could just take over.
Spassky's words here, they're just incredible and kind of heartbreaking. They show you the real human toll of this psychological assault. He wasn't just seeing an opponent, he saw the person, and he seemed to understand the immense pressure Fischer himself was under. It's a reminder that even in the middle of this crazy, intense battle, there can still be a flicker of empathy.
So from one epic rivalry, we jump to another. The clash between Garry Kasparov and Anatoly Karpov wasn't just a single match. Oh no. This was a multi-year war of attrition that pushed both of these men to their absolute physical and mental limits.
And you honestly couldn't have picked two more different personalities. On one side, you've got Kasparov, this fiery, emotional, revolutionary figure who saw chess as a fight to the death. And on the other, you have Karpov, the cool, composed, logical strategist who believed the true strength came from being unshakable. Their rivalry was basically a clash of ideologies played out on a chessboard.
I absolutely love this idea from Kasparov. He didn't see his own nervous energy as a weakness. He saw it as a resource, like ammunition in a battle. If you burn through it too fast, your concentration collapses, and you've lost the fight. So for him, managing your mental energy was just as critical as managing your time on the clock.
And Karpov had the perfect counterpoint. For him, the game was a test of your character. It wasn't just about finding the best moves, it was about who you are as a person. He saw Kasparov's emotional style as a potential flaw, believing that a true champion possesses this unbreakable inner toughness.
Okay, let's fast forward a bit. How has this psychological game changed in the modern era? Well, the answer really lies with one man, Magnus Carlsen, and what's become known as the Carlsen effect. And maybe nothing shows his power more than this absolutely staggering example. Hikaru Nakamura, a fellow super grandmaster, one of the best players in the world, resigned against Carlsen in a position where he was winning. Just let that sink in for a second. He didn't lose because he miscalculated. He lost because the sheer, unrelenting psychological pressure of playing Magnus made him feel like he was losing.
So how does he do it? Well, it's not some big, dramatic move like Fischer's. It's more like a slow burn. From move 1, Carlsen applies this constant, nagging pressure. And his opponents, they start to second-guess themselves. They're thinking, what does he see that I don't? That seed of doubt grows, it leads to simple mistakes, and pretty soon, their entire game just crumbles. He literally wins with his presence.
And this quote right here, this reveals the source of his power.
It's an unshakable, almost arrogant level of self-belief. Carlsen walks into every single game convinced that he is the best, and that confidence isn't just something he feels inside. It radiates across the board and becomes a weapon that starts intimidating his opponents before a single critical move is even played.
All right, so we've seen Fischer's brand of chaos, Kasparov's raw intensity, and Carlsen's suffocating presence. What's the common thread here? What ties them all together? It's all part of an essential mental toolkit you need for psychological victory.
A champion's mind needs all of this stuff. It's having a stable nervous system, which research has actually shown elite players possess. It's the ability to keep your cool when the stakes are at their highest. It's that absolute self-belief of Carlsen. But it's also combined with the ruthlessness to finish the job when your opponent is on the ropes. In the end, you have to master your own mind long before you can ever hope to master the game.
And of course, this isn't just about chess, is it? The ability to stay calm under pressure, to believe in yourself when you're facing a huge challenge, to be resilient when things go wrong. These are skills that every single one of us can use, whether it's for an exam, a job interview, or any high-stakes moment in our lives.
It all boils down to this one simple truth. The queen, the rook, the king, they're all just tools. The most powerful piece in the game, the one that really dictates the flow and the final outcome, isn't even on the board. It's the mind of the player holding the pieces.
So, we've seen how the greatest champions in history wield their psychological weapons, which really only leaves one final question for you. In the high-pressure battles of your own life, in that war of minds, what is your greatest weapon?